So we are going to do 1 and 2. Okay, so please note it, and I hope everybody has the question there. I'm going to take it off because I would have to work on the screen. So okay, so I have the board, and we are going to do the journal entries. We all know how the journal entries are being ruled. Okay. So this can be the general journal. Then we have another the sales journal. So we have the dates, we have the particulars, we have the folio number, and we have the amount. Okay. What do we have here?
Details or particulars.
Anytime you are recording, make sure you have your currency signed there. Very, very important, because sometimes it takes marks. Okay. So before we get here, let me go through the questions again. Now, let's go through the questions. So the following balances were, who will read for us? Somebody should read the first part for us.
The following balances were extracted from the books of All Die We Die Enterprise for the month of July 2018. Office furniture, 150,000 Ghana cedis.
So just mention the items.
Cash on hand, bank balance, debtors ascertained, creditors Susie, Freeman and Powell.
Okay, so assuming we were to open, where would these opening balances go to?
Capital account.
No.
The general journal.
The general journal. Are we okay? The general journal would always have the opening balances. Good. So write it down if you have not, because once we go, then we will have to start. Recall that the question says we are supposed to determine the opening capital. Okay, so we'd have to determine the capital. So how do we determine capital? If we have assets and we have liabilities, we should be able to determine capital, can't we? So we'll look at that. Then, 1st August. We are going through the questions before we start the recording process. So quickly, paid cash, 130,000 for rent. Which of the journals will it go to? Quick.
The cash book.
Cash book.
And thank you, cash book. So you note it, cash book. 2nd August. Which one will it go to?
Sales journal.
The sales journal. Good. So you write it down.
Sales journal.
August.
Cash book.
Good. 4th August.
Purchase journal.
The purchases journal. 5th August. Sorry, 4th August again.
Cash
The cash book. 6th August.
Cash book.
The cash book. Somebody is disturbing the class. Somebody is disturbing the class. Glenda, you are disturbing the class. Glenda, I will take you off. You are disturbing the class. Okay, 8th August.
Returns inwards journal.
The returns inward journal. 10th August.
Return outwards journal.
The return outwards journal. 12th August.
Journal.
The sales journal. 15th August.
Cash book.
16th August.
Cash book.
Why are you saying cash book? Because it said paid insurance.
Journal.
No?
Sales journal.
So cash book is right. Most often, in Ghana, most of the transactions are held in cash, so we can assume that they paid insurance by cash. Okay? So there is nothing there. You can make that assumption. 16th August.
Purchase journal.
The purchases journal. 17th August.
Cash
book.
17th August again.
Cash book.
18th August.
Cash book.
20th August.
Cash book.
25th August.
Cash book.
28th August.
Cash
28th August.
Cash book.
Okay, so you'd realize that if you can even identify all these, then we can do the recording. So I'm going to stop that, and we are going to set the process for recording. I hope everybody is following. You are almost 200 students, so we cannot do it, but to do it this way. You have a responsibility to be active and to be mindful of your environment. So please, let's all go along as we do the recording.
But I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So, this is our general journal. We have the date, so we are ruling the general journal as well. How many columns has for the general journal? What do we put in the first column for general journal?
Date.
Date. Good. What else?
Particulars or details.
Another name for particulars. Details. Okay. And then the next one is what?
Folio number.
The folio number.
Folio number or ledger folio. Of course, sometimes if you don't have our explain each one. And then what else do you have?
Debit.
Debit. And then what?
Credit.
Credit.
Good.
Credit.
Okay, so we have our general journal, we have our sales journal. Which other journal can we open?
Purchase journal.
Purchase journal.
Purchases journal. So we have the dates. Be mindful always to have your currency sign there. Okay, so open the rest in your books. And as we go along, we'll have to record. So the first thing we have to do, what are the initial opening transactions? We know the closing transaction, the closing balances become what? Opening for which period?
September.
The closing transactions become what?
The opening balances for September.
Opening balances for September. Is it September?
Yeah.
No, the closing balances as at July. Be mindful of your date. So
August,
it will be
1st August.
1st August 18 becomes the opening. What do we have there? Office what? Office furniture. Is it debit or credit?
Debit.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
It has a debit balance. So we must note that it has a debit balance. Okay. Now the folio number or the ledger number, if we were posting this to, of course, we haven't done ledgers, but if we were posting this to its account, it would be in what we call the general ledger. So if it is general ledger 1, then we'll put it there. So the folio number makes reference to where we are picking the information from. Okay, whilst the ledger number or the ledger reference refer to the kind of ledger it's going to, okay, and possibly the page number. In this instance, we don't have that, so we can leave that out for now. What is the next item?
Cash on hand.
Cash, debit or credit balance?
Debit. Debit balance.
Of how much?
70,000 today.
What else?
Bank balance.
So the bank, how much?
200,000.
Debit or credit?
Debit.
For those who have not done accounting before, I hope you are following.
Madam, please, with the 1st August,
yes, please.
First, do we put any day there?
Which one are you referring to, Ben?
Madam, the date.
The date. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The 1st August.
I think
I had the 1st August. So you see, somebody would put 31st July. It doesn't really matter. These are closing balances of the previous period which become Lawrence Edu.
Madam, please, we did it
Lawrence,
2018.
I think if it's closing balance for August, then that means it has to be on 31st August.
check your question.
Madam,
Yes.
because from the question I see that it says the balances are for the month of August. So I thought it would be closing balances for August and opening balances for September.
Okay,
that's
so
wrong.
if your question has for the month of August, my question has July. Okay, so I guess it's the dates that have changed. Okay, so let me change it to what you have. So what do you have there?
For the month of August 2020.
Where did you pick your questions from Sakai?
Yes, please.
So we posted it just now. So I guess that is it. So please don't get confused. I have the old one. So what date should we have here?
31st August or 1st September.
Okay, so it will be opening for 1st September. Is it still 2018?
No,
2020.
2020. Okay, good. So sometimes we just change the date to reflect some current information. So don't worry about the date. Okay, so I guess we are all at the same level now. It's because of the different dates I have. Yes, Enoch Medema, what is your question? Okay, so can we continue?
Yes,
What else do
madam.
we have?
Debtors.
Debtors are 10.
Okay, debtors. What balance should debtors have?
Debit
balances.
Debit balances, but you see, there are two kinds of debtors. So we have to put the column sign there. One of them is who? Ascertain. That's the name of the debtor.
I see.
And how much is it? Is he owing the business?
1,200.
1,200. Okay. Who else is owing?
Freeman.
Freeman.
Freeman. How much is Freeman owing?
8,000.
How much?
8,000.
8,000. I guess we are all following.
Yes, madam.
Okay. What else?
Creditors.
Creditors. What will creditors be? What balance should creditors have?
Credit balance.
Who are the creditors?
Susie and Paul.
Okay, so Susie, how much is Susie? Are we supposed to pay Susie?
26,000.
And then who else?
Paul.
40,000.
How much?
14,000.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes,
So
madam.
with this, can we determine our capital?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, who can tell us how much capital?
389,200.
Okay, Akosia says 389,200. Who can confirm? Who can confirm?
Madam, please, is correct.
It's correct.
Yes, please.
How did Akosia get it? So who can tell us how Akosia arrived at it?
Madam, the credit of the
By adding all the credit side and subtracting from the debit side.
Okay, so we know that capital and liabilities are on one hand. Okay, and all assets are on one hand. So that is why we put all assets, debit balances. We know that from our previous studies, and creditors are on the credit side And so the difference gives us the capital. So you can do your casting to give you the total. Are we okay? Any question with the general journal?
No. Madam, please, how do you determine whether that?
Paul?
Madam, please, how do you determine the office furniture and cash, whether they are debit or credit?
Who is asking the question? Calvin?
Paul.
Paul?
Yes.
Have you gone to your slides?
Yes, madam.
What time did you join the class this morning?
As early as I can.
As early as you did?
Yes.
Did you hear me talk about the balances? It means you haven't read your slides. And I kept asking those who had challenges to do. So by now you should know that all assets have debit balances. If you don't know that, then you have not gone through your slides.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, so any other? So we can move on.
If you want to get the capital, you always subtract the debit balance from the credit balance.
No.
Who can help? Who is asking the question?
It's me, Ben.
Yes, so who can help Ben? Ben, yes, you look at the side that is more and take out the lesser one from it.
Yes.
And so the balance would always be, okay, let me put it here.
Madam.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, madam.
Yes, I'm listening. Yes, who is asking the question?
His network is not.
Yes, I think I want to have asset equals equity plus.
I can't hear you. Whoever is talking.
I'm Solomon. Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, madam, please, can you hear me now? Hello?
Godfred, your network is bad. You are dropping at certain points, so we cannot get you clearly.
Type a question.
So type your question. Enoch, if you don't have the questions, then that one, and you don't have anybody to, it's always on Sakai. And I keep telling you that you people must always check Sakai to see what questions are posted and what information is there. Even I had sent one way before, and that is how come my date is different. Ben had sent it across. So please, if you don't have it, we cannot help you out. Are we okay with this?
Okay, madam. Yeah.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have identified the items that go into who we sold to, so that when it is time for us to go and collect our money, we can definitely identify them. Okay, so the folio number, if we had given them a sales invoice, then we would have picked the number on that sales invoice to put here. So that on the day, remember these are transactions that happened on 2nd September. On that day, we sold to Ascertain. So the folio number for that sales invoice would have been captured, so that if we have to go back to make reference, it will be easier for us to do it. In this instance, we don't have any reference to sales invoice. Okay, so we would have to leave that out for now. What is the amount?
50,000.
50,000. Good. What else? Who else did we sell to?
Joe.
5,000.
How much?
55,000.
Who else?
Freeman.
Freeman. How much?
117,000.
17.
117. Okay. Any more for now?
No.
Okay. Can we do all their recordings? Which other dates?
12.
12 what?
September.
12 September. Who did we sell? We sold to Ascertain again.
50,000.
50,000.
Another 50,000. Who else?
Joe. 40,000.
Who else?
Freeman.
15,000.
15,000. Are we done?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Do we have any other credit sales?
No.
Okay, so these are the credit sales that we have identified for the month of September. Okay, so the total, we would have to put a total to it if we were doing it month by month. What is our total?
$327,000.
How much?
327,000. 327,000.
Okay, so take note of this. We will come back to it later. So, Emmanuel, so where have you seen purchases and sales ledger? We have not talked about purchases and sales ledger. We are only interested in the day books. So don't get yourself confused. Let's go to the purchases. Okay, because we have space beneath it, can we do the returns here?
Yes.
So open yours, or if you have, we can also do the returns. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. Which of the returns, when we sell, what do we have? Returns what?
Inwards.
Return inwards. Good. So it is following in the same. So what date do we have the return inwards?
8 September.
Who returned goods to us?
Ascertain.
Ascertain returned goods. Worth how much?
10,000.
10,000.
Who else?
Joe.
Joe also returned goods. Yes. How much?
1,000.
1,000. Who else?
Freeman.
3,000.
Freeman. How much?
3,000.
Are we following?
Yes.
Yeah, we are flowing.
Do we have any other returns?
No.
Okay, so we are done with our returns inwards journal. Please put the journal there. Then we go to our purchases journal. So we have identified all the purchases items on credit. Remember, the journals record only credit items and returns. So what dates do we have our credit purchases?
Fourth.
Fourth.
Okay.
What?
September.
Okay. Okay.
What is the name? Who did we buy from?
Susie.
How much?
30,000.
30,000.
Who else?
Jane.
Jane.
How much?
35,000.
How much?
35,000.
Any other? How much?
59,000.
59,000.
Are we done?
No. 16 September.
When?
16th September.
16th September.
Yes.
Credit purchases.
Jane.
We bought from Jane again. How much?
12,500.
Who else?
How?
How much?
20,500.
Any other?
Susie.
Susie.
Yes.
How much?
18,000.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is our total?
175,000.
Great. So complete the return outwards. Hurry up. Everybody should do it. 2 minutes. Everybody should finish the return outwards journal and give me their balance.
Madam, please.
Yes, afternoon, Pa.
4,000.
How much is our return outwards?
4,000.
4,000. I hope everybody is getting 4,000.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So our next would be to prepare our what?
Cash book. A 3-column cash book.
The 3-column cash book. I hear
Cash
you.
book, yeah.
So everybody should draw their cash book.
three column cash book.
You were doing stuff.
Have we finished?
Yes.
So what columns do you have?
Bank and discount.
So what is your first column? I'm just going to do the first one that you won't have to continue. So we have the date. Then we have what?
Details or particulars.
Details. What else? Folio number. What else?
Discount.
Discount. And then what?
Bank.
Cash.
Bank.
Is that all? Okay. So please label. Then we start again. Remember to put the CD sign beside your discount cash bank. Okay, so let's go. Which date do we have? Cash transactions.
1st September.
September. So here we have to analyze it. Remember the cash book. A cash book can be both a journal and what?
A ledger.
A ledger. So we have the debit and the credit. Okay. We have the debit side and we have the credit side. The cash book can be both a journal and a ledger. So for purposes of what we are doing, we are going to record one-sided, okay? But in subsequent lectures, we would activate the other. It is because we have not dealt with the ledgers, which are the T accounts. So we are going to only record the cash receipt or payment here. But in next lecture, when we have done and treated the ledgers, the transactions will be entered twice. You know that when it is a ledger, we do the double entry. If it is a journal, we do single entry. But because the cash book is both a journal and a ledger, most often we put a double entry, we treat it, so we do the double entry rather than the single entry. Okay, but for purposes of understanding what we are doing today, we are only going to do the one-sided, but that is not what happens after next week. Please take note of that. So let's go. So which dates? And let's analyze the transaction quickly. So first, what happens? We paid what?
Paid cash, 13,000.
Okay, so when we pay cash, what happens to the business cash?
It increases.
It was Lawrence. What did you say? Is it Lawrence or Laurentia? Lorenda. Lorenda, what happens to the business cash when the business pays cash? It decreases. So when an asset is decreasing, where do we put it? Debit or credit?
Credit.
Credit. Okay, so what date is it?
1st September.
1st September. What did we pay to?
Rent.
Okay, it was rent. So we put the item there so that we are aware of what we paid that amount for. Did we pay cash or we issued a check?
Paid on cash.
So how much is our cash?
13,000.
Okay. What else? Yes. Wait, just hold on. Some people have their hands up. Louisa.
Madam, please, there was an opening balance.
There was an opening balance. Okay, good. Justice.
I wanted to remind you of this.
Justice, Justice, what is your challenge? Okay, so when was the opening balance? So 1st September. What was the opening balance? So that will be balance what?
Cash and bank.
Balance
brought down.
Okay, or brought down depending on where. Okay. How much is it?
Cash is 70,000.
Cash is 70,000. So my space is small, and then wait, let me just. And then our bank balance.
200,000.
Okay. What else? Okay, Justice, we're also reminding me about that. Okay. What other cash transactions?
3rd September.
3rd September. What transaction happened?
Cash sales. 100,000.
I can't hear. One person should read out the transaction because I don't.
3rd September, cash sales. 100
sales. Okay, so what happens to our cash sales? Is the business receiving or it's paying?
We are receiving.
Receiving.
Mutakin, Esiama, you are not serious. You are now asking of the question we are solving. That shows how serious you are. Anyway, let's continue. 3rd September. So you can continue with the dates. What did we do with cash? The business is what? Receiving.
Yes.
What did we do? We sold. So sales, how much?
150,000.
150,000. You see, my space is small, so make sure you are entering it. You are entering it well. 150,000. Okay, what else? Any other cash transaction?
Fourth September.
Okay, 4th September, what happened?
Received check
Ascertain. Sure. Yay.
Received what?
check.
Received check, how much?
40,000 from Ascertain. 40,000.
Oh, received check 40,000. What date is it?
4th September.
4th September. Who did we receive the check from?
Ascertain.
So we have to put Ascertain's name so that we can net it off against the goods we sold. How much is it?
40,000.
40,000. Any other?
Joe.
1,000.
The same day we received some amount from Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, how much?
1,000.
1,000. Who else?
Freeman.
Are you sure Joe's own is 1,000?
Yes.
Yes.
Not 10,000.
No.
What date are you looking at?
4th September.
And there was no discount.
No. There's no discount.
Okay, so let's continue. Who else?
Freeman.
Freeman.
9,000.
96,000.
What did you receive from Freeman?
96,000.
Yes, somebody's hand is up. Who is that? Because you don't have your name there, I don't know what name I'm going to call you, so I'm going to ignore you. I've told you time and again. Let's continue.
6. I think we received some discount from Doe.
No.
Some discounts has been attached to Doe transaction. So
we have 10 more minutes. Otherwise, you have to go and complete it. What else?
6th September.
6th September.
On your question, does Joe have a discount?
No, please. Joe doesn't.
No.
Okay, so I guess whoever has the same question as mine. So most students are using what is on Sakai. Some items have changed, so you may have to go and look for it. So don't worry. It's a principle that is important. 6th September, what happened?
Paid check to Susie.
We paid some checks to Susie, so we'll have Susie's name here. How much?
The discount of 2,000.
How much did we pay to Susie?
24,000. Discount of
24,000. So we are supposed to, there's a discount of how much?
2,000.
So you see, we are supposed to pay, so we are supposed to receive an amount that we receive a check of 24. And so there was a discount of 2,000. This question is not too clear. For purposes of it, I'm going to record the 24 with a discount Okay. Because we received the check worth 24 and gave the discount. So I'm assuming that the total amount Susie was bringing was supposed to pay was 26.
Yes.
Okay. But we have been offered 2,000. So we issued a check for 24,000. So that's why we have the discount here and the amount of checks we wrote. Who else?
Jane.
Jane. How much did we pay to Jane?
20,000.
Is it check or cash?
Check.
Okay, how much?
Pay to power.
Cash or check?
40,000.
Okay. Any other?
Cash sale.
Oh, 15 September.
That's all.
15 September. Those people, you didn't put the dates. I hope you put the dates.
Yeah.
Dates
Yes,
are very
madam.
important in accounting, so you must be mindful.
No, man.
So, which date?
15th September.
15th September, what happened?
Cash sales.
Was cash sales. So, it's sales, how much?
180,000.
180,000.
Any other?
Paid insurance. 16
What date did you pay the insurance?
16 September.
16 September. How much was the insurance?
50,000.
Did we pay by cash or check?
It wasn't cash.
Okay, we are assuming cash. What else?
17 September.
17 September, what happened?
Cash sales.
Cash sales. How much?
120,000.
120,000. Okay, so we have 5 minutes. What I'm going to ask everybody to do is to go and complete at least the issues that I want to all have been shown. So everybody should go and complete the cash book, and that would represent our journal entries. Any question? We have 4 minutes to close.
Madam, please, I have a question about the previous transactions we solved.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, they said received an interest of 35,000 cedis on the business bank account, and I want to know the effect of this transaction on the account situation.
So you tell me, what do you think the effect will be?
I think it will increase our bank account, our assets in the form of bank by 35 cedis, and also I think it will also increase equity by 35.
Exactly. Okay, so just as the expense will go to income surplus, the interest would also go to income surplus to increase it.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Somebody is asking, why won't we put bank 22,000 for Susie and 2,000 for discount? What did I explain? What did I say about that?
We said that question is not really clear, so we'll get back to that one later.
Me? Is that what I said?
Madam, you said you assume you have to pay things
8,000, so we are assuming 2,000.
And we've been given a discount of 4,000, so we paid 24,000.
Exactly. So we have issued a check for 24,000, and we have 2,000 discount. Okay, sometimes the discount is in percentage and the transaction would have been clear. If it was in practical terms, it would have determined how much. Okay, but for purposes of this, we are assuming that the check we issued was 24,000 cedis and we have a discount of 2,000. So we are recording it as it is. Because we cannot take the 2,000 out of the 24,000. Otherwise, then we are issuing a check for 22,000. But that is not what the statement says. Yes, Frederica.
Please, the previous questions we answered, the rent. We said paid rent with check 250. We are talking about it affecting equity. Please, isn't paying rent a reduction in the present obligation?
So what did I explain?
He said it will affect the profit, so it will be equity.
So is rent not, paying rent, is it not also a present obligation? That is a reduction of our economic benefits.
No, I was trying to ask why it won't affect liability.
And I have explained it already. So if you have been in class, I have explained it, I think twice or 3 times today. Then it means you were not listening. Because I did explain, somebody came back even when we restarted the class, and I did explain why it is not liability and why technically it is more, what's the name? I think one guy even asked. So go back and check. Okay,
yes,
or go back and listen. You'll get it there. Yes.
Madam, what if it's owing, rent owing?
If it is rent owing, that is more reasonable. It will be a liability.
Okay.
But if it is during the course of the period, then it's an expense. So distinguish between the two. Okay, this one did not say that we were paying. Yes, indeed, last week we had assumed that it was owing at the beginning of the period. But the question did not clearly state that. And so I mentioned this when we started the class, that technically, okay, it may be right. The only challenge is that it didn't talk about it being owing. If it was owing that you were clearing, then the name of the person would have been there and it would have been a liability you are reducing. But because it is an expense, okay, we are assuming that it is an obligation you are paying immediately, then that one would hit your profit. So distinguish between the two and then confuse yourself. Any other? Raquel Clotte, behave. Any other? So go and complete, yes.
Madam, I'm fixing a transaction, and when they say that maybe you collected loan, how do you know that it's a long-term loan or a short-term loan?
So if it doesn't, for purposes of showing the effect, a loan is a liability, period. But by the time you get into the proper accounting process as we have started, you would determine which loan it is. Okay, so sufficient onto the day. I've been talking, this is the second class, 4 hours. I have another 2 hours. Let me go and take some water and something and we'll meet again. In the meantime, complete the cash book. On Thursday, we are moving on to ledgers. And so enjoy the rest of your day. I wish you all the best. Bye.
Thank you, madam. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. We miss you.
Bye.
Bye.